So what are we going to be talking about today, Akil?
All right. So we're going to be talking about the Xbox X Series, showing that they had a little presentation. Public response right now is very underwhelming, to the point where Adam Greenberg had to come out and speak on that. So we're gonna have our thoughts on that. Comic book community, this has been out for a while, but comic book communities, some of them are upset because it's been revealed that the once love triangle of Jean and Scott and Wolverine is actually a polyamorous?
It's evolved in some interesting or
weird
way. We're gonna talk about that for sure.
Everyone's getting poked every corner.
And then we got a big review coming
for Justice League. What's it, Apocalypsa, or
Dark Apocalypse, Dark World Apocalypse or something. I don't know. It was a
Calypso. They spelled it wrong. I saw that. I was like, what the hell? They spell apocalypse like that?
Dark Apocalypse War.
The end of a DC era, in my opinion.
Yes.
So yeah, man.
So first thing first was the Xbox Series X game showing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were underwhelmed because they felt like they showed little to no gameplay. It was a bunch of cutscenes. Of course, the graphical upgrade isn't that severe or significant that people are noticing it. But there are some pros, but there's a lot of cons. So I just want to hear your thoughts and what you thought about the games that they showed. They showed Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but again, it was another cutscene. There was no actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Bright Memory, Call of the Sea, Chorus, Dirt 5. They showed Dirt 5 like, yeah, you guys ready for Dirt 5?
Yeah.
Madden 21.
Like, I saw a bunch of games. I saw a bunch of games that I honestly felt like could have been on the Xbox 360, Xbox One. I saw games that I didn't know I couldn't even get a chance to really catch the name of the game. Some look cool, but they didn't do a good job of, like, they should have bullet pointed the game name at the bottom while showing the trailer of this game. They did a horrible job of that. These weren't even all exclusives just for Xbox.
No.
These are coming out for PS5 also.
Nope.
And they promised that this was going to be something big. Be ready for something huge. And then they were at the end of the Assassin's Creed trailer that we got before, they said inside Xbox is where we're going to show gameplay. And then they bait and switched everybody at the end with, here comes the Assassin's Creed, holla. And then they just showed a quick little thing, and it's like, yo, what the hell was that? That wasn't even gameplay. I didn't get to see the hub. I didn't get to see what it looks like shooting the bird up, what the bird looks like, what your character upgrades look like. They didn't show any true gameplay to make me want to say, like, I gotta put Odyssey aside and go play that. Because Odyssey is it's too big of a game. Like I said, it came out how long ago, and I'm still jumping in and having a good time with it. So why should I drop my coin on this new one?
The two standouts of that presentation were Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is also going to be on PS5.
Yeah, so
and to me, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline 2. That's also going to be on PC and PS5 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that kind of has me intrigued by Xbox is that they have a program going on right now. I know for two games for sure, Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Cyberpunk. Once you buy the Xbox One version of that game, they will upgrade it to the Xbox Series X version for free. So they don't want you to buy the game twice. And they're also saying that the price range that they're looking at for the Xbox Series X is $400.
That's good. That's the best thing I've heard from them, this entire thing. Because everything else is like, you think PlayStation's not going to be able to just upgrade your game? They did that before with the Black Flag and Call of Duty Ghost.
Sony might be money hungry this go around. We don't know anything right now from Sony.
So you think they're turning into the old PS3?
They might, man. We don't know.
That would be the dumbest thing for them to do in their career.
You never know.
Damn.
Sony's always really expensive out the gate, though. Like anytime a PlayStation console comes out, it's like close to $1,000, and then since there's limited numbers, all these like stores will make, like if you want to buy one, you have to buy one with 2 games and another controller and a memory card or some crap like that.
That's an interesting place where Sony is right now, because honestly, people are using the shoe apps that they buy shoes with ahead of people, and they're going to be doing that to get the PlayStation 5 because there's going to be a limited amount coming out. So people are going to be buying like 2-3 PlayStation 5s and reselling them because of this limited amount that's going to be happening. So it's going to be very interesting to see. PlayStation's going to do good regardless. That's all I'm saying. But
it's
this
Xbox
come down
to games, really, and Xbox
we know they're going to have good
anything
games.
Amazing.
That's
PlayStation
the problem.
already has a good track record, so I already know there's going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I know there's going to be some type of God of War, Uncharted. Maybe the series might come back with a different character.
My thing with the Xbox was show me why I need both. Show me why I need the Xbox and the PlayStation, because I'm getting the PlayStation. Show me why I need an Xbox also, and they didn't do that. These games I saw weren't promising. The only one I saw that I actually had a spark of interest in was this Star Fox looking game with a girl. I don't know what the name is, but it looked kind of cool. She was flying a plane around in the stage type of thing. It looked kind of like Descent or Star Fox. So that looked interesting.
I've always been a PlayStation guy. The only real Xbox exclusive that I always liked was Halo. But then once, like, it always has like a generational first-person shooter that everyone plays. Yeah. And then it went from like Halo to like Call of Duty and then Battlefield and it just kept moving on in that direction. But once it moved on from Halo and all those other games were, on PlayStation as well, it's like, why would I get an Xbox? There's no point.
That's the
There's
problem.
not a lot of exclusives. The problem that
there's loyalty with it. I think with a lot of gamers, they're loyal to a certain console, which I'm not. I went from PlayStation to the original Xbox, which I love. I think the original Xbox is one of the best game consoles ever. The original Xbox and the PS2 are my favorite game consoles. Xbox 360, I had that. I like that more than the PS3. The PS4, I like that way more than the Xbox One right now. And honestly, my favorite console currently right now is Nintendo Switch. Even though it has the worst hardware, it has a great game catalog and the portability aspect of it.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just a good time. Yeah, I don't know. Were there any games that interest you from this that you would get or that you would see yourself buying a whole $500 system for?
Cyberpunk, I know I'm already buying, so I'm just like,
both, though.
I'm like, I already have an Xbox One, so I'm like, should I buy the Xbox One version? That way I don't have to buy another version for it when the next gen comes out. I'm trying to look. I'm looking at my wallet at this point, so I'm just should I just get the Xbox One version of Valhalla and Cyberpunk and get an Xbox Series X? That way, when I have that console, I already know I have 2 games waiting for me.
But you're not saving. You're not saving like $60. You're not saving $120. You're spending $700. You know what I mean? You still have to buy that console.
Yeah, I'll buy the console, but
like you're getting the PS5 for sure. Don't front. You're trying to get that.
Because my dad's
Oh Lord! Don't do me like that. You might get it.
My dad's getting it. I can always steal his, so I'm just like,
yeah, right. He ain't letting you leave the house.
I could cover.
He'll let you sleep over.
Spectrums.
He'll let you sleep over for the night.
So yeah, I'm on the fence. I'm not loyal.
I'm not loyal either, but for the promise of all the sequels that PlayStation has that I'm excited for versus the sequels that Xbox has ran into the ground with part 5s already that I'm already tired of, like Gears 5, Halo 5. You know what I mean? It's like I need to see something new, and I need to see that I got to get that Halo feel.
But people are already upset with what's it called? Uncharted, not Uncharted. Last of Us 2 with the leaks. You have those.
Yeah, but people are still gonna get it. That's still getting
I think it's gonna be one of those things where, like Star Wars, they complain about it, but they see it twice.
Yeah,
just to
I heard
complain
the
about
spoilers, but I'm still gonna support that game just off the merit of part 1. That was so amazing. I'm still gonna get it. Like I gotta rock with that storyline.
So I'm on the fence. It's coming down to games. It's gonna come down to price. I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I'll get a PS5 eventually, but it depends when. Like the games I want to get. Like I'm not going to get one at launch. I'm just going to wait to get one when there's a game that I want to play.
Yeah.
So like Spider-Man 2 or, like the next Last of Us, next God of War. If they happen to come up with another Metal Gear, we'll see.
If Kojima was smart, they would. Not Kojima. If Konami was smart, they would do that. They would just do an asshole
Konami might
move.
get bought out by PlayStation. Now, if that happens, it's going to be a great move.
But if Konami's smart, they're just like, yo, we're revamping all these older games and just putting them out. Every game you loved, boom, $40 each or whatever, just a cheap price and just revamp to the PS5 quality. You know what I mean? Like,
that'd be a good idea. I mean,
Konami's making slot machines for gambling, like Vegas.
Yeah, so they're just doing it for the culture. Like, here,
it's like, what are you doing? But I guess it works.
It's a revamped Metal Gear trilogy with the whole new look, like updated look.
Because
Castlevania redone.
It had the Metal Gear Solid. It took like from after the original Metal Gear, and it went on, and then Metal Gear 3 kind of went in the past. And then
that was great though.
And then Metal Gear 5, you're like right before Metal Gear 1. So it's like, okay, we'll just redo Metal Gear 1 now.
You're talking about the Nintendo one, right?
Yeah, the old Nintendo one. That's the one they need to remake.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That could be a movie now.
Yeah.
That would be very interesting.
It's
not as convoluted as the other ones.
He's basically RoboCop like Raiden. They expand his story a little bit more if they want.
Yeah, they did with his own game.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that was just a hack and slash game. That wasn't even really like, it didn't feel like a Metal Gear game.
But that was I think it was Platinum Games.
Yeah,
they made that, right?
It's like Bayonetta with Raiden.
There's some dumb fun
on it.
Yeah.
It was fun. You like slow mo, and then you could like choose how you chop people up and shit.
Yeah, and you actually see like the body parts removed from each other. Yeah, it was some fun.
They did him dirty, man. They took off his looks and his jaw, and I was like, they didn't do all that in Metal Gear 2, though. All he had was a sword. I guess ever since he did that cartwheel with no pants on, took that shit off. They took the man's looks and his jaw and his hand. Everything was gone. Like, they turned him into a straight up cyborg in that game.
Okay.
I don't know how I feel about that direction, though.
I'm always disappointed with the direction that Metal Gear Solid games go until I start playing it more and more and I get into it. And I'm like, this is actually really great. Like with Metal Gear 2 with Raiden, I was like, yo, where the hell is Solid Snake? Like, I don't know if you guys remember that back then. They
that was a bait and switch, man.
Yeah, they bait and switch all the time, but then I end up liking it. Like Metal Gear Solid, I hated that game the first couple. When I played the demo, I was like, why am I swimming into this lake this warehouse and I can't do nothing? I can't shoot nothing wild. What the hell's going on? But then after I got the nuance of the game, it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh yeah, it's one of the best games.
Yeah.
It changed. Like even like the first Metal Gear on Nintendo, I remember I hated that.
I hated that. My brother got that and I was like 6 years old playing that. I'm like, what is this? Get another Mario.
That's like in Nintendo, that was like the prime era of like beat 'em up video games, like Double Dragon. Yeah. And then now you're playing a game where you're supposed to avoid contact with people. Why am I doing this?
My brother got that in Metroid. I was like, yo, what are you doing? You're blowing the money on this? But then after getting into it, I was like, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
All right, y'all want to move on next topic?
Yeah.
All right, so everybody's familiar with Wolverine, Cyclops, and Jean Grey's
love
triangle that's been going on since the 1980s.
Since the beginning of time. It's a great story. This is one of the first love triangles us comic book fans actually had, right? What's going on in the news? What happened?
So they decided that, after the whole Power of X
amazing story. Yeah, amazing.
They decided to evolve this relationship to a polyamorous relationship where Jean, Scott, and Wolverine all have sex with one another.
Wait,
So Wolverine is he's bisexual now.
So
and Scott's bisexual, and Jean's just taking all the dick.
But why?
Marvel has been doing these different like edgy things, I guess. Like instead of sitting down, writing a new character who's homosexual, giving them a diverse background, powers story, they're just like, nah, we don't have Jack Kirby or Stan Lee anymore. Let's just take what we already have and just slap homosexual on it.
That feels very cheap and insultive. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if they're just like, oh, we just need an Asian character in this. Let's just get this guy, or we need an Indian guy. Get the taxi cab driver. He's, you know what I mean? It's like a token. They're making a token out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's cheap. It's not a deep textured thing out of it that they're doing right here. They could have built a new character and made it actual something interesting. Like
to your point, Casey, like, they're the same thing. Like they're just taking something and it's actually insulting to homosexuality. And to just say, we're just gonna make this guy gay.
Yeah,
it's like he doesn't go. They don't show him, developing the same way or going through the same challenges as someone of a homosexual background.
Exactly. If they had have done this with Wolverine, like 10 year span of putting in like little like things to follow that like foreshadowing to this, then it would have been different. But they didn't do anything.
He woke up one day just saying,
150 years old. I need to change.
Now I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Nothing.
Marvel's been doing these different things where they're trying to keep up with the times, and it just seems disingenuous. Like they came up with these new characters called Snowflake and Safe Space.
Yeah, I've seen these.
This is not a joke. These are real characters.
It just looks cheap. it just looks cheap. Like they look like the side characters in Final Fantasy VII Remake. You know what I mean? Like they don't look like the mains. They just look like they're throwing something together and they're like, let's see what the internet thinks about this.
It's the equivalent of, in the 90s where they'll randomly bring in the black guy, but they don't really like expand on his story. He's just like the black guy in the background, and he says stuff like, I miss my dad, or like he's one dimensional. That's what they do now with like gay characters. Like when I watch The Flash or something like that, there'll be a character, and out of nowhere he'll be like, I'm gonna go home and see my husband. I'll see y'all, and then he'll walk off. And you're like, okay, this person's gay, all right. It's like the execs are like, we gotta check this box off, but we're not gonna add any dimension to the character.
They need to hire gay writers and people who are representing that, and get them to actually develop a proper story and tell their story properly. Not do this insultingly.
It's like they already have a story in place. And then the writer's just like, I don't know what to do here. And
I gotta market this thing.
Let me just put a sentence in there that says, I'm gonna go see my husband. That's gonna cover the gay community.
Yeah, it's cheap, there. Man.
Yeah. The thing is too, it's like that whole storyline between Cyclops, that love triangle, that's been such like a big part of Wolverine and Cyclops and Jean Grey and all these different storylines.
Yeah.
And then not even that, but like all these, Wolverine has a track record of this tragic romance, like Lady Deathstrike and is that Scarlet Fox or Scarlet Fox is the girl from the Weapon X program.
Yeah, his ex-wife or something.
His ex-wife, yeah. She was in the movie. She was based on.
Yeah, Fox. It's something Fox. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I have the comic where he's like, "That's my wife," and everybody's like, "What? Like you've been married to this woman this whole time?"
So it has all these things that that's been a part of his character, and now you're cheapening all of that just because you want to add in a gimmick to an existing character because you're too lazy to build a new character.
His son's bisexual too. What's his son's name?
Oh yeah,
his son or something like that. Yeah, his son's bisexual.
Draken or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm just like, who is Wolverine's son?
Yeah, they could have used his character, and they could have developed his character and gave him
the
proper foreshadowing,
building
the stuff from the ground up, not just like one day.
This is what they did in the comics with Iceman. One day, like I think it's when X-Men came back, not before Power. This was before Power of X, but Jean Grey was listening to everybody's like thoughts, and then like she walked near Iceman. And Iceman was like, "Dick," and she was like, "Who's thinking about dick?" And then it was Iceman.
They did his properly. They did his properly of him being gay. But it was weird at first, but they did it properly.
I feel like they just tagged it on, man. Like just do the person. Like eventually they did it right, but like when they first did it, it seemed like they just like, bloop. Yeah. Here it is. Like, you guys can't complain now. It's like when the Punisher became black. You guys remember that shit? The Punisher was black for a couple.
Yeah, when he just gets like a surgery or something. He's like in the comic, like I'm black. It's like
he's like, we're gonna get those Negroes to buy comics now.
Yeah, what kind of teenagers writing this shit? That's how I felt back then. It's like if they could do this, I can write this shit.
Yeah, that shit's insulting. So I'm just like, if they do it right, I'm for it. But this right here just seems like they just tagged that on and they're pandering. It's kind of like when those big corporations are like they're putting out all this stuff for Pride Week. But in the background, they're giving money to like Republicans and anti-gay. But in front of their store, Target, they have a Pride Week and all this other stuff.
That's a whole nother level of conspiracy right there. But no, I feel you. I hear you.
Yeah, that's that bullshit, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. They're just trying to market their stuff. How do you guys think this is going to affect the MCU, the movies?
I don't think they'll add in movies.
I think they will, man. Marvel's ready.
So fast.
Marvel's ready,
and they need X-Men. I think like the powers of X and the other of X, that could be a movie. It's so epic. So
I think it'll be they'll wait on fan reaction first. I think if the fan reaction's too negative, I don't think they'll put it in MCU.
Now we all know that meme where Wolverine's looking at Jean and Cyclops looking at that picture and he's crying. Like that means something completely different now. Like he's missing getting them cheeks clapped now.
Yo, maybe that was the foreshadowing.
That was a foreshadowing.
Maybe they knew this the whole time from the cartoon. They snuck it in from then.
All that arguing was like sexual frustration between him and Scott. Because there's like a comic book panel where they're in bed together. And you see claw marks on the wall.
Yeah.
And laser beams. I was like, what kind of freaky shit? And Jean's not even in there. It was just Wolverine and Scott.
Man.
Jean gonna come up and clean up the place after that.
It's a weird thing because they're all happy together. This is a drama that like took the comics to a whole place, right? Like we're like Hayden was saying earlier, you know what I mean? So it's like I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Are you guys gonna check this out at all? Are you gonna ski mask it? Or?
Well, they got guys that do what, sister wives, and they have all those wives. So what is this, brother husbands? Gene's ahead of the game. Gene winning.
I think if you don't support it, don't buy it, and then that way you vote with your dollars, right? Like if it doesn't sell, they're not gonna go with it, and then that'll truly show how dedicated they are to the storyline. Because like, oh, it's not selling, okay, make them straight again. That'll help.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, Marvel has a lot of gay characters, like America Chavez. She's gay.
Yeah, once it's properly done, once it's respectively done.
Yeah, Hulkling.
I think when you start messing around with like the main core characters of Marvel, like the trademark characters, that's when you're gonna get backlash.
If you told me that Steve Rogers and Bucky were gay, I'd be like, they foreshadowed that shit a lot. I seen that coming. But Wolverine, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers and Bucky, like he put his life on the line for that man. That's not even family. I ain't putting my life on the line for you, Casey. You on your own. Fuck that.
I was like,
jumping for the trains and shit. No, I'd be like, shit. I got other. It's like, hey man, I got other cousins, man. It's been real. This nigga put his life on the line.
I'll be back
way
with a
too
vengeance
much for that man.
I'll be back like Omega Red.
Missing an arm.
Like Sabretooth.
Man got punched up and thrown off a damn helicopter. Was it the helicopter thing just fell off of the ice? Oh, Bucky. Hell no. I ain't doing all this shit for Case. I'm going to shoot you.
There's some backlash online for people who are upset at the whole Wolverine thing. And
not my Wolverine.
Well, yeah.
Hashtag
not my Wolverine.
There's people hating on people who hate the change. So, but the thing is, like, what if they took a gay character, a traditionally gay character, then all of a sudden they go, let's make him straight. How'd you feel about that?
That'd be messed up.
I'd be like, what the hell are y'all doing? It's not like he's changing his shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
the only time I don't like when they do that is when it messes up. Like, they did that with one of the Green Lanterns. I forgot his name. He's the one that used to wear the flamboyant cape. But when they made him gay, like, he had a daughter and all this stuff, and they, like, retracted all that from his story. Like, they took away characters so they could fit this new storyline. I was like, damn. Like, his daughter married somebody, but he always had that purple cape, and he was the only Green Lantern.
That was the clue.
That was the clue.
Yeah, that
he
was.
He always had that Siegfried and Roy cape. I was like, he always stylish on them. So I was just like, nah, he be living his truth now. It took him a while.
Yeah.
Now he living it. But yeah, I'm all for it as long as they do a good job. A bad example of that would be Arrow with Mr. Terrific. They kind of did their own thing with Mr. Terrific. They made him gay. And they just, to me, it was disrespectful. He would get the shit kicked out of him every episode. He was so lame to the point his husband left him. He would have a big ass afro, and before every fight, he would braid his hair. You know how long it takes to braid your hair? He would
braid your own hair, let alone.
This man would braid his own hair before every battle. He would get beat. He's supposed to be like the smartest, one of the smartest people in the world, and an Olympian, but he was always being overshadowed by Felicity. And he was always getting beat up by Arrow. So I'm just like, what are you doing on the show? You're not adding anything to Team Arrow. You're getting beat up all the time. You're a loser. Your husband left you. You got to take at least 5 hours. He braids it's nice braids, too. It's
I was about to say, at least they clean, though. At least the braids clean.
It's not no, like, dookie braids. It's not no Pusher T braids. These are nice. So you know he took his time before he fought.
Yeah, he got to retire as a superhero and become a hairdresser. Just call it a day.
Yeah, so they did Mr. Terrific. Terrible, man. I was like, damn, man. Nobody like your ass.
Yeah.
Husband left him with a quickness. He's like, I'm a superhero. He's like, you ain't doing that because he's always beat up and bleed. He's like, you might need to retire. He's like, this shit ain't working out.
A hairdresser. Nothing wrong with that.
He's like, this superhero shit may not be for you.
Could be a barber hairdresser. He'll be successful. He'll be fine.
They did him dirty. Yeah, you a good hairdresser. You could braid that fast.
Hell yeah. You're making a lot of money.
I wish I could pull up a before and after picture of Mr. Terrific.
Nah, it's all good. Fuck that guy. He ain't that good of a character. He's like a C grade, D grade character, man. He's not no Wolverine.
He's cool in the comics.
Don't lie.
He's a black man designing technology.
You're buying one of his comics. You're pulling up day one to get his number one.
Yo, he got a dope ass jacket.
He's not even Gambit level. Gambit's a higher level. I know they're Marvel DC, yeah, but I'm saying level wise of interest.
Look,
You know what I
Mr.
mean?
Terrific had a dope ass. He has a dope ass wrestling jacket. He has that face paint. Arrow gave him the cornrows.
Easy pass.
Look,
Is he in the Justice League movie Apocalypse?
He's in what? Maybe he dies and we.
Nah, he ain't in there. He ain't even in that. Let's get to the review, man. Let's get to the
He
review.
got honorable mention somewhere. Maybe he died somewhere.
Shit, I remember his name. You just said it.